It's late at night, the house is quiet. You turn on the kitchen light, and something moves across the wall, fast. You look again, and there it is, a small gecko. For many people, the reaction is immediate. Grab a broom, find a shoe, get it out of the house before it disappears behind the furniture, or worse, kill it. But before you do that, there is something you should know. That tiny creature on your wall may not be invading your home. It may be protecting it, because while you sleep, when the lights go out and your house becomes quiet, the gecko begins to hunt. And the things it is hunting may be far more unpleasant than the gecko itself. Mosquitoes, moths, flies, small cockroaches, and other insects hiding in places you rarely look. Behind furniture, near windows, around lights, inside dark corners. A gecko does not need a bowl of food. It does not need you to take care of it. It simply follows the prey. And if one keeps appearing inside your home, there may be a reason. Your house may already contain exactly what it is looking for: food. To understand why this matters, you have to see your home differently. During the day, everything may look clean. The floors are empty. The walls are still. Nothing seems to be moving, but darkness changes everything. Tiny insects emerge from hiding places. Mosquitoes enter through open windows. Moths gather around lights. Cockroaches move through cracks and hidden spaces. And somewhere on the wall, a gecko is waiting, completely still, watching. Then, in a fraction of a second, it attacks. Geckos are natural hunters. Their bodies are built for a world that most humans barely notice. A vertical world. Walls, windows, ceilings, places where many predators cannot follow. You may have seen a gecko running across a wall and wondered, how does it not fall? The answer is stranger than it looks. A gecko's feet are covered with microscopic structures so small that you cannot see them with the naked eye. These structures allow the gecko to cling to surfaces with incredible efficiency. It does not use glue, it does not use suction cups, and it is not simply holding on with tiny claws. Its feet interact with surfaces at an extremely small scale. That is why a gecko can run up a wall, cross a ceiling, and even hang upside down. To us, a wall is a barrier. To a gecko, it is a hunting ground, and that gives it access to insects hiding in places you cannot easily reach. But there is another reason people misunderstand these animals. They appear suddenly. One moment, the wall is empty. The next, a small creature is staring at you. Then you move, and it vanishes. That speed can make geckos seem unpredictable, but in most cases, the gecko is not interested in you. You are enormous compared to it. From the gecko's perspective, you are the dangerous animal in the room. That is why it runs. That is why it hides. And that is why chasing one around the house can become a stressful experience for both of you. But if you do manage to catch it, something even stranger can happen. Its tail can come off. Yes, a gecko can lose part of its own body and survive. When threatened, some geckos can detach their tails. The separated tail may continue moving for a short time, twisting, twitching, distracting the predator. While the predator focuses on the moving tail, the gecko escapes. It is one of nature's most unusual survival strategies. But losing a tail is not harmless. The tail can store valuable energy. Growing a new one requires resources, and the replacement may not look exactly like the original. So when a gecko drops its tail, it is not performing a trick. It is making an emergency sacrifice, a last attempt to survive. And sometimes, the threat causing that sacrifice is simply a frightened human with a broom. But perhaps the biggest reason people kill geckos is fear. Some people believe they are dangerous, that they are poisonous, that touching one could cause serious harm, or that having one inside the house means the home is dirty. But the small house geckos commonly seen on walls are generally far more interested in insects than humans. They are not waiting to attack you. They are not hunting you. and they are certainly not planning to crawl into your bed. Most of the time, they are trying to stay away from you. Of course, they are still wild animals. You should not grab them unnecessarily. And like many animals, they can carry microorganisms, so basic hygiene still matters, but that is very different from treating every gecko as a deadly threat. In reality, the creature people fear may be helping reduce the number of creatures they hate even more. Think about a mosquito. Small, almost silent, sometimes invisible until you hear it near your ear. A mosquito can enter your home through a tiny opening, and once inside, it begins searching. A gecko is searching too, but for the mosquito. The same is true for many other small insects attracted to your home. Lights can bring them closer. Warmth can bring them inside. Openings give them a path, and where insects gather, predators often follow. So if a gecko keeps returning to the same area, look around. Is there a bright light near a window? Are insects gathering there at night? Are there small openings around doors or walls? The gecko may not be the real problem. It may simply be revealing that something else is already there. This does not mean a single gecko will magically eliminate every insect in your home. Nature does not work like that. A gecko is not a professional pest control service, but it is part of a natural system that has existed far longer than our houses. Predator follows prey, and inside human buildings, that ancient relationship continues. There is also something fascinating about how well some geckos have adapted to living around us. Human homes create opportunities. Walls provide surfaces to climb. Artificial lights attract insects. Roofs and cracks create hiding places, and our buildings can offer shelter from some predators and harsh weather. Without meaning to, humans created a new hunting environment, and geckos learned how to use it. That is why you may see one waiting near a light. It is not there because it enjoys staring at the bulb. It knows something. Insects are attracted to the light, and sooner or later, dinner arrives. The gecko waits, sometimes completely motionless. Then it moves. One quick strike and the insect is gone. No trap, no spray, no noise. Just a tiny predator doing what it evolved to do. But what happens if you kill every gecko you see? Probably nothing dramatic happens immediately. Your house will not suddenly become covered in insects overnight. But you will have removed one of the small predators already feeding on them. And that raises an important question. Why kill an animal simply because it looks unfamiliar, when it is actively hunting the pests already inside your home? Fear often comes from not understanding what we are looking at. A creature runs across the wall, and our first thought is danger, but sometimes the animal running away from us is not the threat. It is just trying to survive in the same space. So what should you do when you find a gecko inside your house? First, do not panic. Give it space. In many cases, it will hide or eventually move away on its own. If you truly do not want it inside, there is no need to kill it. You can carefully guide it toward an open door or window. Or, if it can be done safely, use a container and a piece of cardboard to move it outside without injuring it. Do not grab it by the tail. Remember, that tail may be sacrificed if the animal believes its life is in danger. And if geckos are constantly entering your home, the better solution may be to ask why. Seal unnecessary gaps. Use screens where appropriate. Reduce the number of insects being attracted indoors, because removing one gecko without addressing what brought it there may only make room for another. The truth is, a gecko does not see your house as a house. It sees surfaces, shelter, dark spaces, and prey. It does not know who owns the building. It does not understand that the wall belongs to you. It is simply following instincts shaped over millions of years. Hunt, hide, survive. And perhaps that is what makes these tiny animals so fascinating. While you are sleeping, an entire world continues moving around you. Insects emerge. Predators hunt. Small battles happen in corners you never see, and somewhere, completely silent, a gecko may be waiting on the wall, watching a mosquito, following a moth, searching for its next meal. You may never notice what it catches. You may never know how many insects crossed its path. You may only see the gecko itself and assume that it is the problem. But sometimes, the strange creature on your wall is there because of a problem you cannot see. So the next time you walk into a room, turn on the light and see a small gecko frozen on the wall. Remember this, it is probably more afraid of you than you are of it. And while you were sleeping, it may have been hunting the creatures you really did not want inside your home. So before you reach for the broom, before you grab a shoe, and before you decide that the tiny hunter on your wall has to die, look at it again, because you may not be looking at an intruder. You may be looking at the quietest pest control in your house.